Ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posies.
Now, I grew up loving games like Resident Evil, watching movies such as Dawn of the Dead, and I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. Zombies are a big thing in popular culture right now, but what is the actual scientific viability of a zombie apocalypse? I'm going to be talking about how the zombie apocalypse might have been predicted, talk about how the so-called zombie attacks that have happened, and the viability of an actual zombie apocalypse. Let's get started.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
So there was a prophet, and by prophet I mean to put this in quotations, that goes by the name of Nostradamus. His exact prediction about the so-called zombie apocalypse was as quoted: "The year the great seventh number is accomplished, appearing at the time of great games of slaughter. Not far from the age of the great millennium, the dead will come out of their graves." So, to put that in basic terms, the millennium would be the year 2000, but 2007, which would be the seventh number, as quoted, has already passed. But he also stated not far from the great millennium, so that could be anywhere from 2025 to 2050. Right now is a time of great slaughter as well, with all the war we have going on. Now, he did not say the word zombie, nor did he insinuate the dead would actually rise and start walking. This could be a metaphor and maybe have nothing to do with zombies at all. But instead, let's look at the possibility of a zombie apocalypse and see how viable it actually is and how it could happen. Now, in 2011, the CDC issued an actual post on their website preparing people for the zombie apocalypse. There's also a full-blown guide on the FEMA website on how the military should respond to a zombie outbreak. The guide is hundreds of pages long. Now, if zombies could actually be a real thing, why would they spend all this time writing hundreds of pages on how to fight a zombie virus? Some would argue that it could be preparedness for any natural disaster, but the guide itself contains a lot of things regarding zombies and how to take them out specifically. Weird, but explainable, I guess. So how about this? Let's talk now about the ways a zombie apocalypse could actually happen through diseases and other organisms that could cause zombie-like behavior. First, there are parasites, the most notable one being the zombie ant fungus. It spends about 3 to 9 days developing inside its host body. Then when it's ready to complete its cycle, it manipulates the ant to move wherever it chooses, usually around another group of ants. After about 24 hours, it then pushes itself outside of the ant's body and rains down spores onto other ants and infects them. Once the fungus has pushed itself out of the ant's body, the ant is essentially dead, but the fungus still controls the ant's body. All that it would take for us to be able to be infected by this is a small evolution of the fungus itself. And funguses and viruses evolve all the time, so in theory, this could potentially actually happen. There's a lot of known viruses out there that could adapt just slightly, and boom, we'd have a full-on zombie outbreak if it chose to do so. Rabies being the most notable. If rabies were mixed with a strand of the flu or another saliva or airborne virus, we'd have some serious trouble. Now, the only thing that keeps rabies from spreading and killing is the fact that it's easily treatable, and most of the time we don't see it going from animals to human very often. But what if it evolved to the point that it was no longer treatable and gave its host the urge to spread the virus through saliva? That's pretty much all it would take to have a full-blown zombie outbreak, and this would be the most terrifying because it would be the fast zombies seen in 28 days later. This theory actually has some viability, and some conspiracy theorists believe that governments around the world may actually already developed a sort of zombie virus known as LQP79, or lysergic quinine protein, which is allegedly a mental virus infection. Now, we don't know if this actually exists or what it actually does, so we'll just have to see if something goes wrong in one of these facilities. Now, let's talk about my theory as to what would happen in a real-life zombie apocalypse, based on what we've already talked about. I think it would be almost unsurvivable, to be honest. If it were rabies with fast zombies, they would be very strong and very agile, and it would spread like wildfire. It would be very hard to contain, and therefore would probably wipe out most of the world's population in a matter of months, if not shorter. If it was the fungus-based apocalypse with spores, it would probably have a 0% survival rate, unless you had gas masks to protect yourself from the spores. The only survivable zombie scenario would be a virus that somewhat cripples the nerves, muscles, and bones of the host and made it to where the host could not move very fast. In that case, it would be localized and eventually overcome by military and armed civilians. Now, I want to show you guys a few clips of some supposed zombie attacks caught in real life. The first clip is taken in Russia by a surveillance airplane. You can see a man with some sort of firearm shooting, and then 5 humanoid figures running after him. I'll let you guys see what happens next, and you can let me know if this seems real to you or not. The second clip was taken in London. You'll see a man that runs from another, getting caught, and then looks to be bitten by the man that was chasing after him. A police officer then comes to see if the man is alright, and he's presumed dead. What happens next may shock you. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed my theory on the zombie apocalypse. Tell me what you guys think about it. Do you think it's possible, or do you think it's just fantasy? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more paranormal content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.